Force, and the Force is with me. I'm one with the Force is with me. So be it, Jedi.
Hey everybody, guess what? It's Thursday night again. You are here at the GNN Cantina Happy Hour. We're glad you're here with us, watching with us. My name's David. I am your host for the evening. Welcome, welcome. With me as always is Debbie. How are you tonight, Debbie?
Coming to you from a sandstorm on Tatooine.
Apparently. A little hazy there, a little hazy.
Yeah, I don't know why. No clue.
That's okay. We'll make it work. Also with us tonight, as always, is Cam from Cam and Focus. How are you?
Doing good. How are you? How was your week?
Busy. But I got some new Lego sets I'm all kinds of excited about. I finished one of them. Got like 3 more to do. So actually, I finished 2 of them. Where did they? Super Star Destroyer right there. Oh,
nice.
So excited. It's a little MIDI scale Super Star Destroyer. I bought the indoor. They put out 2 sets. They're like diorama sets for the 40th of Return of the Jedi. I got an indoor chase, and I've got a Palpatine's throne room, which I need to build that one. And then, of course, they have a MIDI scale Death Star 2, which I'm really looking forward to building. So, a lot of fun stuff with the Lego this May 4th.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's a whole nother show. So tonight we are talking Visions. Season 2 dropped on May the 4th, which is season 1. I still have not seen all of the episodes from season 1. I've seen the first 6 maybe. And I sat down and watched season 2 for this show. Wow. There's some good stuff. I don't know what y'all thought, but I was thoroughly impressed. I mean, I got through with the first 3 episodes and I was like, I gotta watch more of these because so far right now they're really, really good. I mean, they're not 15, 20 minutes long. I don't think they're that long, but it's just that they're able to cram a fairly decent story in there, and I really enjoyed the animation style. And we'll get into that. Cam, what did you think of these first 3 episodes?
I enjoyed them. For some reason, the third one I didn't quite get as much into. I'm not really sure why. Maybe I was kind of put off by the animation for that one. It was clay stop motion,
claymation.
Yeah. But the story was really good. The first one I'd say was probably my favorite of the 3. The second one being a close second. I love that they added some horror elements in there, which I always appreciate.
It was frightening. Loved it, but the first one started off the way it started. I was like, man, I'm not going to care for this at all. And then when she left her resident, and all of a sudden, because it was very abstract, I guess is a good word.
Avant-garde.
Yeah. And it was like, I was looking at it, and I'm like, this is a person dancing around with a bunch of bubbles on a white background. There's nothing to this. But then when she left her residence or whatever, they went to go look at that crashed ship. I mean, all of a sudden, there was landscapes and there was backgrounds and backdrops and everything else, and it was really, really good. And I was like, man, I'm kind of getting into this now. All right, I'm enjoying this. So again, the art style. I do want to know, because Cam, I know you're a big anime fan. What were your
sort of?
You're as big an anime fan as we have on this show. So based on that, what are your thoughts? Since this is not last season was all different Japanese animation studios. So it was a bunch of different anime studios putting out their content. But this season is a lot different, where we have animations from all over the world. And I was just curious as to your thoughts on that, as far as the have they strayed, taking it strictly away from anime?
I don't think so. I like that they're doing all these different animation styles, because with anime, you might have different styles of anime, but it's all kind of within the same realm. You can see similarities between every different one, whereas this one, these animation styles are so radically different that every episode feels like something completely of its own making. The other ones felt, you know, kind of like spatterings of different executions of the same idea, whereas this one it seems much more varied so far. And I haven't seen past episode 3 yet, so I'm sure that there's going to be much more. But from what I've seen so far, yeah,
there is an anime episode that I've seen so far, and it's the fifth episode, Journey to the Dark Head. I have not seen 6, 7, or 7, 8, and 9 yet, but I did. And if you see me looking over here, I'm looking at my screen so I can see my notes over here. Yes, Debbie. Sometimes I do pay attention to things. Debbie, you're not. What are your thoughts on all of this?
I'm just not a fan. I didn't care for season 1 and season 2. I think I've watched 5 episodes so far, and I don't know if it's just not my thing. It's not my cup of tea. I mean, that's just me. I mean, I'm glad they're doing different types of things with Star Wars, because that just brings in more fans in that, and I appreciate that. It's just not for me. The first episode, I did like the way I don't even know if he had a name, but the Sith guy.
Yeah, the Sith Master or whatever. Yeah,
I thought he looked cool, but that was about the extent of that.
yeah. I don't know if you guys had watched the cinematic trailers for the Old Republic MMORPG, like with Darth Malgus and all them, but the shot of the Sith slowly approaching her from across the ice, it reminded me so much of Darth Malgus walking away from the burning Jedi Temple in the cinematic, where he and the Sith army basically destroy it. I thought that was kind of interesting, and he does look kind of like Malgus.
I'm curious too, because in this one and one of the other ones I saw, the anime one, the Journey to the Dark Head, there was another Sith Lord in that one. Why does it seem like every time we have to have a Sith, he's got to have some kind of helmet or head fixture?
Apparatus.
Or yes. Why? I'm curious about that. And
well, it's good. It's because Darth Vader kind of popularized that. Some kind of cybernetic augmentation has become synonymous with the dark side, and Darth Vader popularized, specifically the mask.
Right.
So we see that in basically almost every single Sith in the Old Republic MMORPG. Darth Malak had it in Knights of the Old Republic.
Revan.
And then Kylo Ren has the mask. I mean, masks are
part of the Sith.
Exactly. Once you see somebody wearing a rebreather in Star Wars, you can automatically assume that they're evil.
Ooh, he's a bad guy.
Yes.
Except for what's his name? Oh, now I can't think of his name. I just watched Rogue One the other day. Forrest Whitaker.
Oh, Saw Gerrera?
Saw Gerrera had a rebreather too. I don't know that necessarily he was evil, but sure.
He just cuckoo or cuckoo.
Of questionable morals.
Yeah, he's an anti-hero. He's like Venom.
He's an extremist.
So, okay, so this first episode came out of Spain. It was a Spanish animation studios. I looked all these studios up just because I was like, I wanted to know where they were all from. Um, and this one I kind of had an idea it was from Spain just because of the actress and the director. You know, you look at some of the people that are involved with it and you see their last names and you're like, oh, I bet that's Spanish. It's a dead giveaway.
Yeah.
But again, it was really good. The end of it. So at the end, basically what it is you've got this woman. She wants to be an artist, and she's doing all these paintings and stuff. And apparently, she was a Sith apprentice at one time. Well, her master hunted her down and was basically attempting to bring her back. She said no, fought him, realized that the dark and the light come from the same thing, and she killed him. Then she says something, or he says, "You are now the master," and she says basically, she said like, "I am the master." So, and she just flew away. Yes, now I am the master, and I can paint my own picture. Did she stay evil since she was the Sith master?
I don't think so.
Lot of open-ended. There, in fact, the next one's a lot like that too. Just and we'll get to that one because I really.
Yeah, I mean, she has the revelation that, you know, the dark side and the light side are opposite sides of the same coin, basically. And then the way that she said it, and the way her story ended, I'm fairly sure. I mean, obviously they're kind of leaving it to interpretation, but I feel like they're leaning a lot more to keeping her kind of walking that middle line and just doing her own thing.
The Gray Jedi. I know.
Yes, Dave.
Or maybe she's just the master of her own destiny.
Oh yeah, okay. Something else too that I noticed in this one, and we got another yellow lightsaber in this one, and I really like the way that people are taking some. For years, lightsabers, it was like, it's a straight sword. It's straight out, and you fought with both hands. But this one, then you moved into episode 2, and you had Dooku's, which was still a straight sword, but he had that cool little curved handle to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you move into Force Awakens and the sequel trilogy. Kylo Ren's got the hand guards on the side of it. Episode 1, you had Darth Maul, and he had the double-bladed one. It was like, oh. But this one was more like a saber. I mean, it was curved, which I thought was really cool. And I'm liking the way that they're doing, based on the different regions. They're like, okay, you've got your lightsaber, but regionally, or we have a sword here and we want to use it within our animation, and we're going to popularize it. So not only did she have a yellow sword, she had a curved yellow sword.
Yep.
And, oh, go ahead.
No, I was just affirming with you.
Okay. And it was double bladed too. And it was double bladed and double colored. So, which I think added a lot to the duality of everything. Yes, she was bad, and we all know Sith have red lightsabers, but yet she's good. So, very neat. Very cool. Really enjoyed this episode. The next episode was called Screecher's Reach. This one was done by an Irish studio. Had to look that one up because I was very curious. This one was frightening to me. This one scared me. You've got these kids and they work in a mine, and they go to this cave that's supposed to be haunted, and there's a banshee. I didn't even put those two together. Yes, it's an Irish animation, and this thing, I mean, basically that's exactly what it was, with the screeching and the yelling and but they find it, and the main girl is the one who ultimately defeats the bad guy. But again, and it turns out, of course, it was all a test. And they come down and they say, okay, you're worthy to be trained and everything. Now, again, I asked the question, was that a Sith that put that test into place? Or did she go off to be trained by Jedi? Go ahead.
Kind of tough to say, because the way that character is presented makes it look like she's a Jedi, with like, the soft and soothing voice, the bright colors, the light literally shining on her, but at the same time, putting what's obviously like a fallen Jedi or something as a live test for someone else to kill. That's not a very Jedi thing to do.
Well, I was looking at that, yes, but then she also said she tried to give her the lightsaber back, and she was like, "No, that's yours to keep. You keep that one." And that's one of the big tests of Jedi's is you got to build your own lightsaber, and obviously it was a red lightsaber because
yeah.
So, and what was the other one? It was she, and I know the Jedi use the term too, but it's more prominent with the Sith. She called her an apprentice. So I was like, is she leaving her friends to become a bad guy?
Mephisto
confirmed. How are you, Debbie? So, Debbie, you've been awful quiet. Thoughts on this episode? On the second one?
I honestly don't remember this episode.
Might
have been the one I fell asleep on. I don't know.
Oh no!
So, I told you guys this is not my genre. Or not my cup of tea.
I rewatched all 3 of these episodes this afternoon when I got home from work, or this evening when I got home from work, and Samuel, my 4-year-old, was sitting there watching. He was playing with his toys, but the that one came on, and I was like, "Oh, this is the scary one." And he sat down and watched. I mean, just like was focused in, glued to watching that episode, and it got done, and he goes, "That was scary," and I'm like, "Great, nightmares again tonight. Here we go."
Well, I think that's kind of a good thing, though. I mean, Disney specifically, if you remember back to the Disney films, especially during the Disney Renaissance of the 90s, a lot of those movies were very challenging for kids. You could have a kids movie with challenging themes in it. Yeah. And honestly, the most recent one that I can think of is Coraline. I mean, it's a kids movie, but it's got some dark themes. It's got some really creepy imagery, and it's nice that they're kind of touching on that again to show that, hey, we can be edgy too.
Yeah, and not just Disney. Now, you mentioned Coraline, but there were 2 or 3 of them. There was one called Paranorman that came out. Yeah. That was just, I was like, we sat down and watched it when Luke was a kid, and I was like, oh, here's a cartoon Halloween movie. We can watch this. And we watched that, and I was like, holy smokes, that's terrifying. And then, what's the other one that they used to? Monster House. If you haven't ever watched Monster House, God almighty, is this for kids? Seriously?
The uvula joke is the best.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, it's like, and it's not because it's like dirty or full of foul language or anything. It's just frightening. It's scary. So, I mean, for a cartoon, it is frightening and scary. Yeah. So, I mean, it's just like, I was like, oh man. But yeah, I totally agree. It's nice to see them. But you can even look back as far as when was that? Early 80s, maybe 84 or 85, when the Black Cauldron came out. I mean, that was, if you've never seen the Black Cauldron, it's a Disney animated movie, has no songs in it, no singing. It's not a typical Disney movie, but it is.
I don't recall that one.
Oh, go watch it. It's really good, but it's very frightening too. It's not something, I mean, it's like, We went to go see this as kids in the theater. What?
I would love to see an updated adaptation of those books because obviously the Black Cauldron is, I think, the second book in the Chronicles of Prydain series.
Yeah,
And
no, I think it's the first one. I think it was the first one. I think there was 3 of them, wasn't there?
no, there was like 7.
Oh, I only recalled 3.
I'm pretty sure the Black Cauldron's the second one because in the Black Cauldron book, the character of Terran is quite a bit older.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and look up exactly which one was the first one because I don't remember. I haven't read that series since middle school, but very, very good if you're into like high fantasy.
Yeah, and honestly, the Disney movie does not do the book justice.
No,
I mean, there were a lot of liberties taken.
Yeah, but as its own thing, though, obviously, if you look at the film as a separate entity, it's pretty damn good.
Yeah, it's go watch it, Debbie. It's on Disney Plus. You can watch it. You're allowed. You don't have to go to
sleep.
Yeah, don't fall asleep. You won't. It's scary. And what was that little thing? Gurgi?
Gurgi, yep.
Yeah, the little fuzzballs thing. Crunchies and munchies in there somewhere. He's funny.
Poor tenderhead.
Yeah. So it's go watch the Black Cauldron. Highly recommended. Not the Black Hole, the Black Cauldron. The Black Hole is on there as well, and that's just kind of there. Okay, third one was Into the Stars. This one was from Chile. The animation studio is Chile, South America. This one, the first time viewing, I was not impressed with. Again, and I think I agree with you that the stop motion was kind of, I don't know, the stop motion seemed very choppy to me.
It was a little off-putting, especially whenever, because it was mostly just the characters that were the stop motion. Everything else was smooth CG. And I remember the first moment that kind of caught me was, the sparkling of the paint, as kind of floating off into the air, as opposed to the character mixing it. You have that really smooth, glittery effect, but then the character is like chop, 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 chop.
I will put my hand up here.
and I don't know. The difference in the animation kind of put me off, but.
Well, and again, yes, it was off-putting. I thought the way the Imperials were portrayed was very good. Basically, what you had here was 2 sisters. They're the last beings on their planet. The Empire came in and basically crushed everybody on the planet, and these 2 survived. And but I like the way the Empire, like I said, was they were mining the planet for resources, basically, and these 2 sisters crushed the Empire by themselves. But like I said, I like the way that the Empire was portrayed. Oh, what happened?
Your light went out.
Yeah, everything went out. Hang on a minute.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah, Ruh-roh. Ruh-roh is right. Hang on a minute.
Now you can join me in my technical difficulties.
What happened here? So,
do you have a ring light? Did that go out on you?
No, everything it was like a brownout or something, because okay, that one's it coming back on, I hope. Maybe. Can you still see me? Is my camera still on?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can see you.
Because my screens aren't on, I can't see anything. That's the issue. I mean, I've got power to them because the lights are on, but they're not turning on. Anyway, oh wait, maybe. There I am. Woo! Disaster averted. My biggest concern was that my computer would have gone off and just kicked everybody out. Anyway, the moth, the female leader, she was big and ugly and scary looking. And like I said, the way that they were animated into this, the troopers were frightening, the ATST, and not frightening as in woo, ghosts, but frightening as in like, oh my gosh, you guys are in control and you're big and powerful and there's no way I can take you kind of thing. They were intimidating. I guess that's a better word. And the way the ATST was, one of the big things I didn't like was the fact that they, at the end of it, to quash the Empire, basically, they collapsed one of the water towers and it flooded out the base and everything was destroyed. Even though the two girls were standing right there too. And for some reason, they didn't get destroyed. Everything else got wiped out, but they were fine. So
the Force works in mysterious ways.
Suspension of belief, something like that. Isn't that what they call that?
Suspension of disbelief.
Suspension of disbelief.
Oh,
that's why Harry
just go with it moments.
Why Harry and Norm can get the bejesus beaten out of them by a little 6-year-old and not go to the hospital.
Yeah.
But that's one of the biggest offenders, the Home Alone movies. But and then again too, I mean, you know, once the Empire's gone and the sky clears and they see their mom and their dad and everything's, or well, their mom within the stars. I like the way that it ended. I like the way the Empire was portrayed. It was the second or third time around. I think I've seen it 3 times now, but it grew on me eventually. Still not a fan of the animation style. I don't like the way that they looked with the horns and I was just like,
Yeah, I mean, there's kind of a disconnect with me. I've never really been a big fan of claymation. I mean, that's just me personally. I mean, the only exception is Wallace and Gromit, because that's
Wallace
my childhood right there. But
speaking of which, that's the next episode. That's episode 4.
Oh, really?
It's the Wallace and Gromit episode. Yeah,
I got you. I haven't made it that far yet, but
oh, and it's a good one too.
Okay.
Has nothing to do with Jedi. We'll just say that. I mean, these first 3 is like all. Actually, the first. Where am I? Well, the hockey game's going on.
Oh, okay.
Whereas the wife and Luke are downstairs screaming at the TV. So the first 3 were all Jedi. The 4th one was nothing. The 5th one was all Jedi, and the 6th one was not. Now the other 3, like I said, I have not seen those yet. So the last 3 I have not seen. But again, I have no doubt I'm going to enjoy them because so far I am impressed. So, anything else? Do we have anything else?
Well, these are fairly short episodes, but
yeah, they really are. I mean,
we're talking about the equivalent of maybe 1 episode of Mando here.
I was going to say. Yeah, I mean, seriously, they're not. And see, that's another thing that I really enjoyed about them was that they're not like, oh my gosh, I got to sit through 2 hours of this or an hour of this. And I mean, really, they're like 10 to 15 minutes a piece. They're not very long.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, speaking of not being very long, I have watched the Young Jedi Adventures. I told you I would have to watch them.
And
not my cup of tea.
I like those better than that.
What?
Yeah, I thought they were cute.
They are geared for a young audience, and that is exactly what they're there for. And
Yeah, there's a lesson in every episode, working as teammates
and it's funny because they follow the exact same formula that every other one of these shows follows, to where it's like they're trying to do something at the first part of the episode, to where it's like, even if it's something dumb like, oh, I'm using the force to lift rocks, but I can't quite get it, and then somebody comes and says, one of these days you're going to learn and you're going to really like it. And then as the episode progresses, they figure out, oh, well, I can't do it unless I do this and this and this. And then at the end, of course, they're excellent at it. And the person comes back and says, see, you figured out how to do it. And they're like, oh, yeah, I knew how to do it all along. Ha, ha, ha. It's like, it's very, very cookie cutter. I mean, you just, hey, look, here's Paw Patrol episodes, but we're going to make them with Jedi Knights. And, oh, look, here's some PJ Masks episodes, but we're going to make them Jedis instead of superheroes. So, but again, I mean, it's what it is.
It's for kids.
For what it is.
Their generation of hopefully Star Wars fans.
I mean, you look at us, and some of us grew up watching those stupid Ewok cartoon shows, which were basically Care Bear episodes.
Well, it could be worse, Dave. Your kids could want to watch Resistance.
Yeah, that's true.
Yikes.
He's still a little young on that one, and Luke knows better.
Be like, not my kids anymore.
Not in my house. We have certain movies and shows that are not allowed in our house. American Idol, Grease. Oh,
Grease, really?
I hate that movie with a passion, and I don't know why. I just cannot stand that movie.
Interesting.
Wow.
Makes me sick.
My kid's currently hooked on the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy.
They just scored. It's hooked on the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy. Is that what you said?
Yep.
So long as, well, I don't know that you really want to count that third one there. That one was just kind of
It's there, and it has its moments.
It's like X-Men Last Stand. It's like, you tried, you failed. Basically, everybody phoned it in on that one. So,
I mean, if Spider-Man 3 was a meal, then I would say I like the condiments at least.
It's like, you know what? It's the third movie in everything is really, because I'm sitting here thinking about it, and I'm like, yeah, because you had the Ninja Turtle movies and the third one, and I'm talking about the old ones from like the 90s. The third one was just really a stinker. I mean, where they go back in time to ancient Japan, and it was awful. Godfather Part 3. It's like, come on, really? Really? Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines.
Oh, no.
Please, stop. Just stop.
Return of the Jedi. Ugh, garbage. Jesus
No,
Christ.
wait a minute. Wait just a minute. There's a difference on that. And I've actually been trying to watch through the Scream movies. And there was a scene in the second one where they were in a class and they were discussing sequels and how no sequel has ever been as good as the original one. And they're shooting off ideas, and one of them says, what about Return of the Jedi? Empire, what about Empire Strikes Back? Empire outdid A New Hope. It was better than A New Hope. And he said, you can't use that. It's part of a trilogy. It's all one story just spread out over 3 movies, so you can't use that.
Excuses.
So, yeah. Nobody says anything bad about the Holy Trilogy. What are you? Is your cat in there?
No, You know how if you don't move your mouse for a while, the screen goes into screensaver?
Uh-huh.
And I don't know why this did that, because it never does that during a show. My screen just went blank. I was just like, what the?
Your camera's fuzzy and your computer's going into screensaver mode.
I don't know what's going on, folks.
Man, that computer update really messed you up.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and see what the hell it did.
I gotta go find out what mine did. That was very odd for me. Anyway, so I guess we're just gonna do a short show tonight, unless you guys have anything else you're just dying to talk about.
I don't have too much. I mean, all I can say is based on these first 3 episodes, I'm excited for the rest of the series.
I completely agree with you. I'm 100% on board. I will say this. Look at this. My awesome Boba Fett shirt.
Oh, nice.
Disney World 2005. 2005 Disney World.
I'm wearing my Millennium Falcon schematic shirt.
Yeah. Debbie, you're not wearing anything special tonight.
No.
Were you wearing an Ahsoka shirt on Monday night?
Yes, I
MC
was.
Monday? I thought so.
Well, I wasn't thinking. I wore it to work because on Mondays and Fridays I don't have patients, so I can dress casually. So I wasn't thinking when I got dressed, and I really didn't feel like changing clothes when I got home. So I was just like, they won't notice.
Oh, I noticed.
It's a cross promotion.
That's right. we like Ahsoka. So, since we're this far in, shameless self-promotions, Cam, what you got?
May 15th, still have the episode of the Babadook coming out, or Cam and Focus episode on the Babadook coming out, discussing why it's my favorite horror film, discussing the subtle intricacies of the filmmaking behind the story. So,
did we find out if it's airing anywhere?
I'm looking right now. How about that? While I'm looking, Debbie, shameless self-promotions.
I don't have any. No Star Trek Friday.
Why not?
We're not back until May 19th. So.
And we're doing
the original
the Cage, the original series, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's the one without Captain Kirk, right? The only person really that carried,
That's the one with Pike.
With Pike, and the only character really that carried over was Spock. Something about it says it's on a subscription somewhere, so I don't know if it's on Paramount Plus or HBO Max or. Hang on, you're gonna make me look this up, and I'm gonna have to find out.
I'll look it up. Baba what?
Babadook 2014.
Yep.
Okay, let's see. Where can I watch this?
Tubi.
Oh, hey. Tubi is a streaming app. It's a freebie app. I think you can watch it with you watch with ads. In fact, I think Tubi is where the original Batman series is. Adam West and Burt Ward and
oh, really?
Cesar Romero and Burgess Meredith and Lee Merriweather and
Cesar Romero. What a fun Joker.
Yeah. And Penguin, hey. Burgess Meredith. You can watch Rocky all day long, and all I can hear him say is, "You're a bum, Rock."
Yeah, I've never seen it, but I was watching. I'm not quite sure which one it was. It was either Scream 5 or Scream 6. Maybe she mentioned it in both, but she mentioned that Babadook was her. Jenna Ortega's character mentioned that Babadook was her favorite
scary movie.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I think it was Scream 5 because, like I said, I've been panning through those because Scream 6 just hit Paramount Plus, and I was like, I don't even remember Scream 5. I remember Scream 4 and thinking, man, I really don't want to see this because it's the fourth one.
Yeah, I'd only seen maybe the first two, and I don't know, some of these franchises that are, like
That roll into the third movie.
yeah, well, like, Nightmare on Elm Street, the first two I probably really liked, and then after that it just kind of, and then the same thing with Halloween, and I've yet to see the last one of that one. I seen it advertised somewhere, so I'll probably watch.
I haven't. That's the Halloween Kills, right? So
Halloween Ends? Halloween Ends? Isn't that what it's called?
maybe.
See, I don't even know. At any rate, so
I think I've only seen the first one of the newer stuff. I think I've only seen the first one of those.
I haven't seen past the first Rob Zombie version.
Oh, that one was really, really good. And I don't care what anybody says. And Rob Zombie ruined it. When you start off the movie and you show Michael as a kid and you show what his life was like that led him up to become the killer that he is, that's frightening to me because that's real. I mean, whether you can run around and get shot a million times and cut people's head off with chainsaws and things like that, that's completely different. But the psychosis behind it, I mean, that stuff is, and that's what's frightening to me. You saw that kid and he did all that stuff, and I'm just like, oh, that could really happen, with him and the abusive parents, and the mom's a go-go dancer, and so that Rob Zombie, in my opinion, made a very good movie with that first Halloween movie, and then of course it just rolled into John Carpenter's story. Basically, it was the same thing. A few subtle differences, but it was basically the same thing.
Yeah, a lot of today's horror movies. I mean, I sit through them and I'm like, really?
Well, if you do watch the Babadook, I will say, watching the events that play out on surface level, it's going to look like a typical haunting type of movie. But when you go through and you pay attention, just go into it with the mentality the Babadook does not exist. It's the manifestation of a depressed insomniac with unresolved grief. Because when you watch, nothing paranormal happens in that movie. So it's a very good movie about the dangers of mental illness, unresolved grief, insomnia, all that kind of thing. Well, no, in a broken household, so besides the fantastical element that they bring into it, at its core, it is very much a true to life horror film.
See, now I'm wondering if my wife would really like that one because she actually came. She wanted to go see what was that one? Split. She wanted to see Split.
That was
and I was like, oh, okay, well,
love James McAvoy.
I'm like, why do you want to watch this? And she's like, because he's got multiple personalities, and that's real. That's frightening because it does happen and it's real. And then, of course, I'm watching it, and then you get to the end, and Bruce Willis is there, and I'm like, oh, I had no idea. I was so shocked. I was like, oh, this is Unbreakable. This is the sequel to Unbreakable. I had no clue. I was so excited. I was like, oh, we got to go watch the other one now. But
part of a. I thought it was part of a trilogy.
It is.
Glass.
It is.
You had Glass. Yep. Glass was Unbreakable was the first one, then Split, and then Glass.
Right.
So, but yeah, the she wanted to see Split, and she wanted to see, and I was shocked about this one. She wanted to go see Joker with Joaquin Phoenix, and I was like, that's a comic book movie. Why do you want to go see? She goes, well, I've heard that it's not really, it's more about the mental insanity, the mental part of it. And I was like, all right, maybe all right. We can go see a comic book movie. I'm fine with that. I'm good with that. You don't ever want to go see them with me, so you want to go see this one, we'll go see this one. So yes, if that's, I'll watch it and say, hey, we need to watch this. You need to watch this because you're gonna really like it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Very cool. Okay, so Cam and Focus, that's on the 15th?
15th.
15th. Awesome. Are we doing anything for MCU Mondays on Monday, Debbie?
I have not heard.
Okay. We had free comic book day this past Saturday. Did y'all go get free comic books at all?
I don't have a comic book store around me.
What?
Right now I'm living in a fairly small town, so we don't have that.
Debbie, I'm guessing you didn't go get comic books. I got a bunch of them because we in years past they've said 3. You can take 3 of all the stuff we have picked out. You can take 3. This year they said 5, and I was like, sweet. And then of course Samuel was there picking out 5, and I'm like, here's my 5, and here's Luke's 5, and so I got a stack.
Damn.
I was excited. But there was oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I mean, I've always loved free comic book day. I mean, I've got a collection of over 500 comic books, and so I was heartbroken that I had to miss out on that.
It was a lot of fun. We went to go see Guardians afterwards, we went to go see Guardians first, and then we went to the comic book store. But I got some Avengers stuff. I got Spider-Man, Ninja Turtles. There was one... Garbage Pail Kids versus Mad Balls.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
No, it was just silly and dumb, and I'm not. I mean, the free comic book is where I will start with that one. But I was just like, all right, well, you're shooting for the nostalgia factor on this one. So all the kids that grew up in the 80s that were playing with that stuff were like, oh, hey, I remember this. I'm going to buy these. So, which again, it wasn't horrible, but I'm not going to rush out and buy the first issue either. So, I kind of got, there was a High Republic comic, and I was all excited about it. I was like, "Oh, High Republic, okay," because I had the first 5 or 6 issues of the High Republic, and I sold them off. And I was like, "All right." Well, it wasn't the High Republic; it was High Republic Adventures. Which, if you haven't read that comic book, then you're probably too old for it, anyways. Because this is one that's geared more toward the kids. This is a younger version of the comic book. And in fact, they did a crossover with the High Republic Adventures with Avatar. The Nickelodeon it was an odd crossover.
Oh, okay.
I thought not the last Airbender.
Giant blue people Avatar.
No, not that Avatar. The other one.
That's an odd combination.
No, the Airbender one, because it's all done in the same style. So I'm just like, oh, I wanted a Star Wars comic book, and you gave me this. What are you doing? I wasn't paying attention. Anyway, so we did free comic book day. There's a bunch of shorts and a bunch of reels up on our Facebook, our Instagram, YouTube. We had the Captain's Logs and Lightsabers guys did one. Dave Gramillion did one. Kat did one. Go check it out. Go see what you missed out on. Fan Expo is next month. Woo-hoo. Less than a month away. I'm all kinds of excited. Dave Gramillion and I will both be there. If you're in Dallas and you want to come hang out with us at the Fan Expo, bring it. Bring it on. Love to see you there. I think John Biscardi is going to be there as well on Saturday. So Geek and I podcast will also be there. Other than that, go check out the website, geeknewsnow.net. Like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on Facebook, like us and subscribe on YouTube. So you can catch all these cool little shows. We have MCU Mondays on Mondays. We have Cantina Happy Hour on Thursdays. On Fridays is, what are they calling that now? Federation Fridays? Is that the Star Trek one? So Federation Fridays is on Fridays, and then Saturdays is the Geek Gauntlet, and they cover just like everything. They're all encompassing. So go check it out. We got a lot of content coming out. Go check it out. We'll see you all next week. We're going to discuss the next 3 episodes of Visions and any other news or anything else that comes out the week after next. Is that Return of the Jedi? Is that the 25th?
Think so.
The 11th is today.
Yes.
So yes, the week after next, we're going to skip Visions, all Return of the Jedi. It's the 40th anniversary. We are landing on the date of the 40th anniversary, and we are going to be talking Jedi and reliving some memories and reliving the movie, and I will even see about getting the Yub Nub song put on here. So
hey, there you go.
Anyway, we will see you all next week. Y'all all have fun, and may the Force be with you all.